How are you doing in the chat? How's your Monday? Is your week off to a great start already? Let me know in the comments. Appreciate you guys being on. Again, if you're just joining us, welcome. You guys are on time. Love it. Good stuff. Good stuff. Again, if you're just joining us, welcome everyone to our Monday night training call. Again, this is Todd Cahill. Thank you so much for being on. Welcome, Kelly. Welcome, Deidre. Yeah, if you could say what's up, how are you from the comment section. What's up, Rachel? Glad that your week is off to a great start. Awesome. Cassie, welcome. I see some people joining here. Again, if you're just joining our Zoom today, welcome, and go ahead and say what's up in the chat. Hope your week is off already to a great start. What's up, Mara? Welcome. Welcome, Brandon. We got Samantha that just joined us. Welcome, everybody. Hey, Liz. Good. Glad you had a good day so far. That's good to hear. Welcome, Stacy. I just saw her join. Awesome. We're going to start here. Let's say another 60 seconds. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Jaime. Hope you guys are good. Let's see here. All right, we're going to get started here. You guys can hear me okay? Just wanted to give you guys, if you guys can hear me okay, put in the chat that you can hear me okay, and I'll go ahead and get started. Perfect. Awesome. Awesome. Well, welcome, everybody. Hope your Monday is off to a phenomenal start, and glad to be here. Very blessed and grateful on this end to be alive. Hopefully you guys are as well. So what I want to do is I'm going to pull up the slides here. And as you saw last week, we kind of changed the training up. So again, I appreciate you guys being on because I know that you're going to have a ton of value added to you. So what I'd like to just, if you're kind of new to this kind of vibe, so every Monday night, we want to discuss things that, how do I say this, that really hold all of us back. Not you, not just you, but also me. So what I've noticed in businesses and as a successful entrepreneur, but also have gone through a lot of failures in my life, I've noticed that leadership is everything. You know, as John Maxwell always says, everything rises and falls on leadership. I mean, would you guys agree with that? I mean, would you guys agree that leadership, like if you're a good leader and you're leading yourself effectively, is your life better or worse? What would you guys say? Better or worse? Probably better, right? And if you guys can just mute your phone too, by the way, just so we have a good call. But yeah, in the chat section, just go ahead and, because I want this to be interactive too. I mean, like, hopefully this is like, you know, you understand that if I lead myself every day in my attitude, in my actions, in accountability, obviously, you know, I'm going to see results. So that's exactly what tonight is all about. And again, if you can just mute yourself, I think someone is maybe unmuted. We want to talk about managing the choice of attitude, okay? So thank you for whoever muted. So nice quiet call. But yeah, in the chat section, definitely when I ask questions, you know, feel free just to, you know, comment back, whatever. But I put managing the choice of attitude. So what does that mean? Managing the choice of attitude. Oh, this is a good one. Our attitude is our altitude. And there's been thousands and thousands of books written on the subject of attitude, as you can imagine. But as you know, and maybe you don't know, but something that I've gotten to know over the years is the foundation of achievement is learning to make effective choices. Okay. So if we can make effective choices on our routine, on our calendar, the way that we prepare for the day, the way that we show up for our loved ones, the way that we can actually have self-awareness of things that maybe we did wrong in the past, not hold shame, not hold, you know, contempt even for ourselves and get into a pity party, but start making wise choices. Since all of us, you know, make thousands of choices daily, I think it's vitally important that we make the right choices. So especially in business, right? So in business, it's like, okay, I got to pick up the phone and I got to dial. I got to pick up the phone and call a business person. If you're doing the FICA program, which a lot of you are, there's going to be a choice that you have to make today, tomorrow, hopefully not next week, but you do it right away. And you have to pick up the phone and just dial, right? You have to make that connection. It's the same thing as a networking event. If you're doing, any networking in person, like you've got to initiate, you've got to make that first move. And that is managing the choice of attitude, right? It's like, I got this. And then taking the right action and then having accountability. So the 3 A's that we're going to talk about today is attitude, action, and accountability. And notice the C word, it's choice. So what's really empowering with all of this is we have the choice to do all 3. Now, God's created us, in my opinion, and from my research, and he's given us the free will. So we do have free will. So we can choose to have a horrible attitude. Sure, you can totally do that. You're not going to get arrested. You're not going to be in trouble if you have a bad attitude. But I think where you will be, not legal trouble, but I think where you will be in trouble is the people that maybe you love in your life. They might not want to be in your life, sooner than later. You're not taking the right actions if you choose to not do anything or quit or complain, stuff like that. And then accountability, it's almost like a bad word, but accountability is actually the most motivating thing out there. So your effective management of these 3 life choices is vital for your future achievement. And I want you guys to kind of, take that in. Your effective management of these 3 life choices is vital for your future achievement. So as we go through these slides, hopefully you like these slides. I think they're really cool. So the challenge of attitude management. Okay, so here's the challenge, right? So if I'm challenged with, okay, every day I have to make better choices, wiser choices, I'm getting older. And that's funny when sometimes people bring that up. It's like, well, this person is older, right? They're in their whatever. That doesn't necessarily mean you have a lot of wisdom. So every year you have a birthday, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get more wiser, more competent. Actually, you could get dumber and dumber. Because maybe most people, I think, watch TV enough. They way too much. They're not reading. They're not stimulating their brain. They're on social media. They're constantly having negative news surrounded them. And this is what happens, fear. So I don't care if you're 80 to 18 years old today, fear is going to be one of the greatest challenges of your life. And why is attitude management so difficult? It really is because of fear. It's, fear of rejection. Okay, let me just kind of be really poignant, right? So if I'm making a call right now, okay, and I'm like, I'm committed. Thank you so much. This was a great call. And I'm just like, man, I have a business owner I like to call. Okay, ring, ring. Hello. Hey, Joe. Yes. Hey, this is Todd. Hey, what's going on, man? How are you? Good, good. Hey, have you, let me ask you a random question. How many employees do you have again? Just kind of a random question. Oh, I have 100. Oh man. Okay. Well, I don't know if you know this, but I think you might be losing like $70,000 a year, according to my calculations. Oh, what do you mean by that? Well, I'm actually working with an incredible firm in New York City, and they really can actually work with you and your staff and also help you with 19 additional health supplement benefits that you actually can have better recruiting, retention, and revenue. You know what, Todd? I'm not really that interested. Could you not call me again about this? Thank you. Bye. Okay. So what I just presented to you is the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario. And I don't care if you're a real estate agent. I don't care if you're an affiliate marketer. Obviously, we're all affiliate marketers within the FICA program. And that's why you're here today, to learn more about it. But also, these are some things in the mind, the 6 inches between our ears, that we have to go through. So that's the worst case scenario. So I want you to really pause and think about this. Okay, so I just called Joe. I don't know Joe that well. And I just sit there now. And this has happened to me 1,000 times in my 22-year sales career. Okay. He just rejected me. Now, wait a minute. Did he reject me? Or did he reject the FICA program? Well, maybe both. Do I really care? Is Joe going to come over to my house Christmas? Is Joe going to hang out with my kids? Am I going to even buy him a Christmas present? No. Joe is just a colleague. He's just a contact. So we fear something that I just showed you. That's the worst case scenario. So many people are afraid of rejection, but I always remind people, like, this isn't dating. So dating is a lot harder than this, okay? Because you are rejected in dating. Sometimes you date someone and they might say, I'm not attracted to you. That's harsh. That's hard. But yet what's interesting is if you're single, you're probably trying to date. It's just interesting how the human condition, our heart works, right? It's like, I know I'm going to get rejected, but I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be alone. I mean, very few people really want to be alone. I mean, even God, who created the world, said to Adam, after he's in his own kind of presence, God himself, he's like, you know what? It's not good for man to be alone. I'm going to create a woman. So think about that. Most people I've ever met do not want to be alone. They like the companionship of another person. But we will go through heartache to go through the dating world. We will go through heartache even in a marriage. We will go through heartache even in a relationship, because not all relationships are great or easy, or maybe you picked the wrong whatever, right? So there's a lot of fear with that. But then you look at business. Now, business can set you free. The opportunity that we have in front of us can literally make you a multimillionaire. It can make you 6 figures a month. It can make you 6 figures a year. So the biggest thing is, are you willing to go through some rejection? And if the answer is yes, well, let's kind of dive into more about what fear is, because it is instinctive. So the reason you even have fear, because you probably have thought to yourself, is like, why is this even coming up for me? Am I weird? Does Todd ever deal with fear, or any of the top leaders here? And the answer is absolutely yes. But what I've learned about fear over the years, especially in leadership, and especially in business, is fear is instinctive and leading many to develop life circumstances from the emotion of fear. So you literally, from what I've understood, what I've been through, is you can actually create, now watch what I say, more harsh life circumstances, because fear duplicates. So fear, someone that fears more, it just duplicates over and over. So it's easy for us as human beings to actually digest fear. Like, we're actually attracted to fear. It's weird, right? Because like fear and like, oh gosh, what's going on in the news today? And I don't know. And we talk and we talk and we talk and we talk, right? It's actually, we're more comfortable with negative news than with positive news. Does that make sense? I mean, every news channel knows that negative news tends to appeal to our natural human instincts. I don't care if it's MSNBC, Fox News. I don't care if you're on the left or the right or the middle. They're all negative. I mean, they're all Republicans, Democrats. Everyone's like negative, okay? It's not, wow, we have so much hope for our country this year. There's so much hope. We're going to change this. I mean, obviously, there's some politicians that are preaching that, and that actually is really good. But at the same time, we're still instinctive that we don't even believe it sometimes. There's no hope. There's no hope. And once we lose the hope, fear creeps in. And this could be in any aspect of your life, okay? So managing a positive, effective attitude is difficult, because it is neither natural nor instinctive. And here's the thing that is the good news for each and every one of you tonight, is you must, not should, must, don't should on your must, like Tony Robbins always says, but you must develop the capacity to manage a positive attitude. Now, when I say that, what does that mean? I must develop the capacity to manage a positive attitude. So what are some things? So let's say I'm in a negative attitude right now. What are some things that you guys do? And just in the chat, kind of play around with this. But what are some things that you do positively when you do find yourself in a negative emotion or an emotion of negativity? Are you good at, like, drop everything, jump around, change your state, jump around, go for a walk, maybe say, it's time to work out. I'm going to go for an hour jog or something. What do you do to manage those kind of emotions of fear when they pop up? Because if you don't have a game plan, if you don't have a strategy when that comes up, maybe you just meditate, maybe just go lie down, put on your headset for 10 minutes, meditate, something nice on YouTube, morning meditations, night whatever, midday meditation. And you're really rewiring your brain. The subconscious brain has all the fear because it's instinctive, but then you kind of are changing the neural loop of the 6 inches between your ears. And you're kind of like, just like a car, someone going in there to fix the carburetor or the engine or something, you're kind of rewiring it a little bit. Maybe it needs a little rewiring here or there. That's how it works. Now, if you do that over time, compounded over time, you're going to literally rewire your brain. And we're going to talk about belief here, and the 5 levels of the mental, being mentally tough is really belief. But the biology of belief is, once you believe that you can overcome fear, you're going to overcome fear. Okay. And that's so important to understand that. So again, the challenge of attitude management, managing a consistent, effective attitude, will be one of the greatest challenges of your life. I'm up for the challenge. Hopefully you are. we are more comfortable with negative news than with positive news. And then we all need a systems approach to attitude management. So what is the systems approach? Okay. I would say, and everyone might be different in this regard, but for me, the systems I've had for this specifically, or every single morning, this is what I do. And I encourage you to do this. Okay. Whether you're a believer or not, whatever you believe in, I think we all can agree that we all have souls and we're human beings, right? That we have something very special within us. So what I do in the morning is I wake up, I go straight to the coffee maker, the espresso maker, and then I sit down and I meditate for 10 minutes and I just think positive thoughts. I visualize my day on every conversation. But let me tell you something, to be honest with you, every morning I wake up, I'm usually in a negative mood. And it's so weird because it's like, oh, another day, right? Another day to rewire and to make history and do great things for this planet. But because of my background and really some of I think just what I have in my genetics, I've really have had to deal with depression, deal with a lot of this stuff. I mean, my own sister took her life and my father, it's like, so I've seen it, but I've never taken anything for it, as far as medication is concerned. So I've tried to really manage that from a basis of biology, where I'm like, okay, I'm just going to meditate for 10 straight minutes and be very consistent with that. Then I'm going to read something in the Bible. And then I'm going to hear from God. I'm going to hear from the person that created me. Like, hey, creator, why am I like this? And then he always ceases to, amaze me, because I'm always getting that excitement from that. And then I'll journal. What are my prayer requests? And then from there, I'll go into my planner. So I'm like, okay, what did I plan the day before? Here's the people I got to call. Here's how I want to show up today, even if I don't feel like doing it. Now, today I was really sick for almost the whole day, but I still did my to-do list. I still rested. I still had to do that. So we're going to be sick sometimes. We're going to have stress. We're going to have stressful texts. We're going to have stressful emails. But we've got to stick to the script, so to speak. We've got to stick to what's most important to us. What are the priorities? What do we need to get done? Come higher. What's that saying? Come higher, hell water. What do we have to do before all the drama? If you worked a full-time job 8 hours a day and we paid you 6 figures a year to make these calls with the FICA program, you're going to do it, right? Because you have a salary, and it's the same mindset that you have to have as an entrepreneur. So again, negative attitudes are instinctive. Skepticism creates a comfort zone and perceived as safe from all risks. So what does that really mean? I believe this: if you are skeptical of everyone, so for instance, if you had a couple rejections, I'll go back to dating. You can even take, let's say you're married and divorced, are you ever going to get married again? Well, some people literally don't, because they're so skeptical. They're skeptical about marriage because that one person out of 3.5 billion women or 3.5 billion men screwed you over or whatever, right? Or did this to you, all right? So that means you're telling me 3.5 billion women or men are going to do the same thing to you in your next relationship? Of course not. But this skepticism of everyone and everything, your human instincts interpret that habit as a safe comfort zone from all risks. So again, think of it this way. If you are skeptical of everyone and everything, your human instincts interrupt that habit as a safe comfort zone from all risks. And I think this is the challenge in entrepreneurship: is people don't like to take risks. They don't like to take risks in investment. They don't like to take risks because they've taken risks before. I can't tell you how many discovery calls that I've been on over the years, and whether it's they're investing this, or maybe it's coaching, or maybe it's this opportunity that's free, presented to all of us in the FICA program. People are like, well, I tried something like that before, or I've already, lost money. And I'm like, well, when did you lose money? Oh, about 10 years ago. I'm like, yeah, but how much Warren Buffett loses in one day? Billions, sometimes billions. So you have to get back on the horse, so to speak, right? But now you're smarter for it. So if you lost money in the past, great. What did you learn from it? Don't obviously repeat the patterns, but you shouldn't be afraid of investing again. You have a real education because of that so-called failure. But again, your brain doesn't think like that. Your brain's like, don't do it. Warning, warning, don't ever invest. Warning, ever, ever, ever. And it's the same thing in a beautiful relationship that you could have. You're like, well, warning, warning, your ex is crazy. Warning, this one might be too. You never know, So we've got to really be smarter and learn from those failures, so to speak, and not hold so much shame and guilt from it. So here's an however, right? So however, the habitual perspective of pessimism will eventually become a comfortable thinking habit that leads to unproductive habits of thought. So the more that you're pessimistic, the more that you have that perspective. And, a lot of times people call these people narcissists too. And, that's a whole different theology. And sometimes a narcissist is so hurt from they're so pessimistic that's why they're narcissists. You almost have to feel bad for them because they're so hurt from trauma and such bad relationships, or even a bad relationship with their parents or themselves or whatever, that they just think everyone is out to get them. So they are always hurting people so that they're not hurt themselves. Okay, we see this all over. But in other words, if you develop, you develop negative attitudes. But upon this ineffective thinking habits, you begin to build comfort zones for yourself that impede your growth. And this is what's scary. The more that you have negative attitudes surrounding this and surrounding that, and everyone rejects me and nobody loves me, and man, my last call sucked, and I'm going to take a week off because I need to really, maybe rethink this opportunity. Well, you're gone. They said years ago when I was in network marketing and I worked with some of the best people on earth. I can drop some names right now, but there was one guy in particular, and he still does the same company that I did. And he always said 1% doubt, you're out. I mean, this is someone that makes millions and millions of dollars. I think he's a multimillionaire just off Apple stock himself. He always taught me investing, and I invested in all this stuff too with him. And I just learned so much from him. But he always would say that, it would bother me. It was like, what? 1% doubt, you're out. What does that mean? 1% doubt. So if I have any doubt, I'm out. I don't think that's what it means. I think obviously it's okay to doubt. I mean, you got doubting Thomas, you got Peter that doubted Jesus. I mean, he fell into the water, I mean, there's some doubt. I mean, it's okay. A natural human thing is to doubt. But I think like building belief through small successful attempts in a proven system, building your confidence to a point where you 100% believe that you got this, and that you 100% know that you are so afraid of comfort zones, and you have that fear, and you fear apathy, because that is the enemy. So the enemy is not like John, right? The enemy is not your ex. The enemy is actually apathy. And apathy is that natural human instinct common to us all, which we're always seeking our comfort zone. So again, I don't care what industry you're in. I don't care if you're corporate America. I don't care if you're struggling in any industry right now as we speak. All of this is universal. Okay, it's universal to anyone that wants to be an achiever. So to grow, you must develop your potential, and that potential always lies just beyond your comfort zone. Let me repeat that one more time. If you want to grow, which again, you have to choose to grow, because growth is a choice. You don't want to not grow, because if you choose not to grow, then you're just declining. You're not just hanging out. A lot of people think, well, I'm just going to hang out. I'm going to take a year off and travel. Okay, cool. Well, you're lucky. But does that mean you don't work out for that year? Could be. Does that mean you don't eat healthy food for that year? Could be. I mean, take a year off. I don't think that's even possible, right? You still have to, remain healthy in your habits. It's not just your career you're taking off. Does that make sense? So no matter what you do, it's that choice to grow. So let me give you a couple of examples too. I don't know if you've thought this, right? So again, managing a positive attitude. Most dysfunction in business and personal achievement can be traced back to ineffective thinking habits. So what is an ineffective thinking habit? Let me just give you a couple. The statement of, I don't trust anyone. I've been hurt before. I don't trust anyone. I'm secure as long as I have a job. And that's a problem. I've seen a lot of affiliates that get started with us, and they do have a good job. They do make $60,000 a year, $100,000 a year, whatever. And they're just like, you know what, I'm just going to stick to this. Now they have dreams and goals like everyone else, and they're so pumped that first month. But then what happens is that fear creeps in, and that phone call didn't go as thought. They thought, oh man, this business owner is going to absolutely say yes. And they just can't get a hold of them. Or maybe they do book the call, but then they decline. They don't move forward. Oh man, you know what? This doesn't work, right? So, and then they go back, because the psychology of that is they have already security. So they're kind of like, why would I ever want to tip my toes outside of my comfort zone when I already have so much security and comfort here? But that's a problem, because any minute that person could get fired. Any minute that person could realize, wait a minute, I'm capped. So no matter how hard I work, I'm never going to get past a certain level, even if they're getting promotion after promotion. I've never met a corporate America person that makes millions unless they're the CEO of Chase, or something like that, or Disney. So, you kind of are capped in certain ways. Again, nothing wrong with that. But if you want to be like an unlimited earner, unlimited time freedom, then entrepreneurship is the way to go, or even intrapreneurship, where you're representing a company and you're not even having to make the hard calls. You just have to promote it. That's called an intrapreneur. Here's another one. I don't like risks. Another one. If I try something new, I might fail. Well, geez, if you date someone, they might break up with you. So are you going to stop dating someone? If you get a dog, they might die. So you're going to not get a dog? Of course it's going to die, but you're not going to experience complete happiness for 14, 15 years minimum. I mean, maximum, of course. You still want the happiness, but yeah, unfortunately, hey, I'm not going to have children because they might die. Well, yeah, they could. That's the risk of having children. There's a risk just living life today. There's a huge risk. There's a risk if you get in your car tonight and you never return home, knock on wood. There's a risk of a hurricane. There's a risk of an earthquake. I mean, we're always living in risk. Might as well not put more risk on your life. Does that make sense? For no reason. They have a lot of money. They sure are lucky. Oh, that person's just lucky. So again, these are ineffective thinking habits that could really be holding you back. But a positive attitude is a predetermined habit of thought dominated by faith, hope, and positive expectancy. Okay, so I'm going to get to the 5 quick steps here. I'm almost done. Just give me about 10 more minutes, and then we'll take questions, and we'll kind of go through the FICA program as well, answer some questions there. But hopefully this is helping you. Because again, for me, this helps me. Just kind of reading this, I get all fired up and like, yeah, let's go, right? Because it's so true, right? It's the science of achievement. So the fastest way to promote achievement is to believe it's possible. I know that sounds so simple, but it's true. The fastest way to promote achievement is to believe it's possible. So what are you believing tonight that's possible for you? Are you believing for yourself that you can actually make $10,000 a month in residual income? Are you believing for yourself that you can make $50,000 a month or $100,000 a month? I want you to write that down. What is your body? How does your body react to writing down $100,000 a month? Now, I've made that before and I've done that multiple times. I know what it's like. I've never done it in a true residual income way, obviously until now with the T group and the FICA program. And we have deals that are closing that'll earn me $300,000 to $400,000 a month in just a few months. So these are huge things. And same with the affiliates as well on this call today. So you've got to start to believe. You got to start to believe anything's possible. If this person can be a billionaire, if this person can be a multimillionaire, why can't you? And again, I'm not just promoting money tonight. That's not like the most important thing that we promote here, but it's fun because it's a numeric game. So like money is cool because like I can write numbers and I'm a numbers person. And then I can do like, okay, well, here's my bills, here's the number. And then here's the number of hours that I work every day. But if I have residual, then I can actually get these hours back. And then here's how long I'm going to live. So if I live to like 100, knock on wood, but if I live to 100, I'm 43. So I have 57 years left. Okay, 57 years left. Okay, do I want to spend 57 of them or 55 of them or 47 of them working 12-hour days, 10-hour days? No, probably not. What do I really want to do? And then looking at the ages of my children and like, okay, where are they at now and where do I want to be when they're this age? And looking at, coordinates on where I live and where I would like to live. All this stuff is all numbers. So it's all a numbers game. Then you kind of break it down and be like, okay, if I want to make this amount of money a month, how many calls do I need to make a month? Okay, now this is really interesting. So with our VIP clients, I teach them how to reach out to 5 people a day. Now this is kind of a joke. It's not that hard, but a lot of them are part-time. So I don't want to make it like crazy, but I was taught by John Maxwell himself, the greatest leadership person out there on planet Earth today, in my opinion. He would not allow me to leave the office until I made 50 dials a day to pastors promoting his speaking in a simulcast back in early 2000. So I would have to not only call 50 people a day, but I would have to speak with 20 people a day, or I couldn't leave for the day. And if I did leave, I could get fired. I had from 8 a.m., 9, 10, 11, 12 to 1 was lunch. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I had 8 straight hours to dial 50 people. I could have done it before lunch. In fact, I went on to be the #1 salesperson in less than 2 years. I broke all the records and I quit because I wanted to be the next John Maxwell. And that was the first and only job I've ever had. So I was very successful. Why was I successful? Because I was so awesome? No, I was successful because I ran the numbers and I believed in John. I believed in leadership, and the simulcast that we were promoting was connecting the local business people in all of America with the local churches in America and Canada on a Saturday. So we would have, like, at the time, Rudy Giuliani was a hero. I think he still is, but you got Ken Blanchard, the 1 Minute Manager. You had like Michael Abershoft of the U.S. Navy, wrote a great book, It's Your Ship, one of my favorite books of all time. On how to really be a servant leader. We had all these great men. We also had a lot of women like Beth Moore and what's her name? All the great pastor woman who, I listen to her stuff all the time. But they would come together, and the Christian leaders, but were teaching secular business owners how to get to the next level. And I was so passionate about that because I love being a Christian businessman in a secular world. So I would make the calls. I was passionate about and I didn't even know what I was doing. I was reading from a script, but I just knew, I believed in myself. I believed in the mission. I believed in what we're doing. I believed it actually was eternal work. I believed that it was actually honoring God. I mean, like, I believed that I was helping people. And I believe if you think like this, here's what's possible, because creativity cannot exist in negative thought. So all the creatives out there, like, if you want to think differently, creatively, actually be like, wow, like, I have an idea. Oh, there's another idea. Oh, what if I do this? Oh, what if I do this? This is without fear. So when you're without fear, you can create. And as someone who's created in God's own image, like yourself, I can speak things into existence. I can say, you know what? I believe this. Boom, it is true. I say, I am this. It is true. But if I say I am a loser, it is true. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing on both sides of the fence. So some of you need to change your thinking to be like, I am making 5 calls a day. I am signing up 1 business owner a day. I am booking appointments every day. I am booking 1 appointment a day, 5 days a week. I am the most consistent person in the world. I am in shape. I am amazing. I am incredible. And that might be weird in the beginning of that process, but if you keep doing it and you keep believing, obviously it's going to happen. I mean, we look at people like Jim Carrey. I mean, I wrote about him in my book. I mean, he's sitting with Oprah in 1998, and he's talking about The Mask and how he got $10 million and how he would drive before The Mask when he was doing Living Color, and he would sit on Mulholland Drive and overlook that and the Hollywood Hills, and he wrote himself a check for $10 million for services rendered, and his first big check was $10 million for The Mask. And then I think he went on to make $20 million for Dumb and Dumber, which today is one of the funniest movies still. And that was back in '94, and he was doing the interview, I think, in '98 or '97 with Oprah. I mean, that's called manifestation. And I believe in that. And I believe that you do manifest with your words. Your words become manifested. And it's not a hokey thing. You don't have to be like a hippie. You don't have to go to Sedona or anything like that and hold rocks while you manifest, even though that's cool if you do, because Sedona's awesome. But I'm just saying, like, manifestation comes from belief that you have in yourself and your mission that you want to accomplish. It's believing that God has created you for a higher purpose than just you going to a job and working a 9 to 5. I'm telling you, all of you are here for a reason, because you have purpose and there's drive behind that purpose. And you cannot let a thing like fear hold you back. You can't let a thing like, oh man, what if they say no? Oh my gosh, of course people are going to say no. That's like, again, going back to dating, because it's such a relatable thing. It's like, you're single right now and you get on a dating app and you get all excited, and then the first person says, I'm not interested. Forget it. I'm single the rest of my life. I mean, some people might think like that, and I feel very bad for them. I mean, that's such a sad existence. So what? So what is that saying? So what? Some will, some won't. Someone's waiting. You're going to find your person if you keep going through the numbers. And maybe the number is the first person you talk to. Oh, there's your soulmate. Done. Thank you, God. Or you have to go through 100 people on 100 dates to finally find your soulmate, or whatever, your person. It is what it is. It's just part of life. You just never know. Some get luckier. Some have to work harder. So 5 steps to mental toughness. Okay. So wrapping up this real quick is I just wrote 5 things that are going to help you. Okay. If you want to take a screenshot there, you definitely can. So just so that you can maybe look at this and stuff like that. But the first thing is maintain positive expectancy. You got to really understand, like, what does that mean? Positive expectancy. It means I expect great things to happen in my life. Anything that you fear, you need to switch it. And believe me, I'm the last person that should be talking about this. I do this all the time. I mean, like, literally, I have fears of, like, oh my God, what's in my mailbox? Oh my God, what about this? Oh, and then I'm like, I have to stop myself. And then I have to do these exercises. Okay. Even like this week or last week, maintaining that positive expectation. It is a muscle that you have to flex in your mind all the time. Number two, managing daily choices according to your goals, not your feelings. Your feelings don't care. Your feelings don't matter. Your feelings are not gonna, if you base your life on your feelings, you're gonna be broke and alone by the time you're in retirement age. You're just gonna be broken alone. Because in a marriage, in a relationship, in a job, in a career, sometimes you're not going to feel like giving up. You're going to feel like quitting. You know what? This is too much. This is too dramatic. I give up. There's a lot of other people in the sea. The grass is always greener on the other side. Well, I don't think that's true, in a lot of different things, especially this. So like, for instance, show me another firm in New York City that has the kind of compliance, the kind of product that we have in all of America that is closing as we speak, 50,000 employees, 21,000 employees, 4,500 employees, 27,000 employees. That's amazing. Just booking a call and I could be a multimillionaire just for booking an appointment. So again, but a lot of times I get upset. I was like, oh man, I don't feel like this. I don't feel like this. Number three, aggressively managing positive relationships. I think this is one of the most important things because when the times get tough, and I don't know if you're fortunate enough like I am to have a mom alive. My dad passed away about 4 years ago, but my mom is still alive. And she's like one of the first people I'll call, before my therapist or before my coach. And, it's your mom, right? And hopefully you guys are fortunate to have someone in your life like that maybe is your mom or a family member, brother, sister. But then you also have a coach, right? So having a coach, having a mentor, having a positive relationship. Now that doesn't mean they're your buddy. My therapist is not my buddy. My coach is not my friend. My coach is my coach. Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan. I've never seen a picture, think about this, with Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan golfing together. It probably happened. I'm not saying it didn't, but I've never seen a picture of Phil Jackson, the coach of the Chicago Bulls, and Michael Jordan golfing together. Never saw it. Okay. I don't think a coach hangs out with the players that much. I really don't. But the coach coaches and the players play. And that's something you have to understand, that a lot of times people think a mentor is just supposed to be your buddy. See, the challenge with having a friend doesn't really want to give you advice because it's a weird relationship. So you have a friend for a friend, you have a mom for a mom, for sometimes just really nice love. Maybe you get tough love from your mom, but mostly nice love, unconditional love. Maybe you have a wife, a husband, unconditional love, hopefully, or, great advice. But sometimes you just need someone to kick your butt. And sometimes you need a pastor or a coach to be like, yo, like you're messing up. And you receive that and you'd be like, okay, how am I messing up? Well, from what you tell me and what you tell me here and what I've seen here, I think you should. And you're like, you know what? Thank you. Because that could be worth millions of dollars. And that's why we have a call like this every Monday, because it's maintaining that positive relationship in business of helping you get to that next level. Number four, live in the moment. That call that you're having, be the best you can at that call. When you get rejected, receive that the best way possible. When you are reading that 10 pages of a book, don't look at your phone. Read the 10 pages, study it, journal, and then look at your phone. When you're having the morning devotions, be in that present moment of the morning devotions. When you're with your kids at night, be in that moment when you're putting them to bed and get rid of your phone. Don't be looking at Instagram with your children, stuff like that. Just remind yourself of that, because sometimes we don't even realize what we're doing. And then number five, believe in your ability to achieve. Belief is the spark that sustains you. Believe in your ability to achieve. Belief is the spark that sustains you. Okay, so wrapping up, I want to also just share, if you guys want to scan this. So on the right is our Facebook community. If you're not a part of that, you can go ahead and scan that. We'll add you to that. You can also sign up for a weekly newsletter that I write about you versus you and helping you, all for free. And then also, if you want to watch what we do at a high level with great leaders that actually are earning $10,000 to $100,000 a month, you can go ahead and scan that for our base program. So with that said, let's do this. I'm going to open it up. I want to open it up for any questions that you guys might have. So I think I'm on camera. So what did you guys think about the message? And if you want to ask me any questions about that, or our business with the T group and how we're putting in businesses, how it's working, I mean, every Thursday we have a training with the T group, corporate staff that are licensed professionals. So once you become an official affiliate, you can get on those calls every Thursday. But I just want to kind of chat with you guys here. We have 20 minutes. I want to answer any questions you have. Like, what are you going through right now? If you want to be a little open, I mean, you don't have to share a lot of personal information if you don't feel comfortable. But what did you learn? What was your takeaways from what I just shared? And how can I better help you get into action and get the results that you're looking for, maybe even a lot quicker than you think, because that's kind of what I'm good at. We can get you results, get you paid, get you excited. So any questions at all, I'm here to help. So you can just unmute yourself, announce yourself, and then we can kind of go from there.
Todd, I'd like to just say that is one of the best presentations that you've done to date, as long as I've known you. I got so many pages of notes, so thank you so much. I actually just wanted to tell you how much I love doing the be, do, and have exercise.
Yes.
That was really cool. I loved it. I mean, I did the bees really easily, and I did the do's really easily, but I had to really give the haves some thought, and it really was good for me. So thank you for suggesting that. Or I don't know, maybe that was Sarah. But anyway, thank you so much. Really good stuff.
Absolutely. No, thanks, Liz. So Liz was talking about something that I kind of mentioned earlier on the call today. But okay, so you're like, okay, Todd, I love the call. What do I do? So I would recommend what I talk to my clients about is like, okay, what do I want to have, what I want to do, and what I want to be, and just write down like 50 things. Like, for instance, what I want to have is materialistic, let's say. So it's kind of easy. Like, I want to have this specific car, this specific home, this specific carpet, this specific square foot home in Maui or in Colorado, on this river, on whatever, right? And just really get specific. But you're not writing paragraphs, you're just writing like bullet points. And then you go to what I want to become. Well, I want to become this person, this type of person, this character. This is what I want to do. This is what I do for others. And you just start writing this stuff. And what happens is, and again, this is where the achievement side comes out. You're creating a vision of a better tomorrow. So when you have vision and optimism and hope, man, nothing can stop you. But without vision, people perish, as you know. And when you don't have optimism and hope, it becomes hopeless. So this is other ways too to get out of the funk. And like Liz was saying, like it really helped her. So that's awesome. Next question. Don't be shy, guys. We're family here. Anything I can do to help, love to help you. Kind of meet you where you're at. Don't be shy. Just ask question. If you have any specific about T group or what we do with them as well, please ask. Stop sharing too screen. Okay, cool.
Hey Todd, it's Brandon.
What's up?
Hey, I just wanted to share some an experience I had last week with the call in regards to the T group. So I was speaking with this contact I had at this company and kind of gave him a brief overview of the program. And immediately out of his mouth, it was like, "Oh, you know what? Let me get in touch with our HR benefits person, and I'll have introduce you guys via email, and you can go from there." And I said, "Hey, I appreciate the offer." I said, "But what I have found is that most HR people just don't have the financial interest in mind of the company. They're concerned with obviously the benefits and issues that go on, in terms of, employee relationships and things of that nature." And I said, I just find that it's better if we go directly with the CFO or even the CEO or owner, someone who, it's their baby. So they want, they have a vested interest in the company, adding to their bottom line. He stopped for a minute. He goes, "You know what? You're right." He goes, "Thinking about it now," he goes, they just have other things going on, and maybe most HR staffs or HR departments are understaffed, and might just look at it as they've got one more thing to do. So he's like, "You know what? I'm going to introduce you to our VP of Finance, and you can have that call from there." So, but
wow.
Just throwing it out there for you guys. So, have that conversation with your, if somebody tells you, "Hey, I want, I'll connect you with the HR person," just tell them, "Hey, you know what? This is what I have found works the best," and then see how it works.
So can I interview you a little bit?
Yeah.
So, so we just talked about choices, right? Making wise choices and better choices, getting better. So obviously that could have gone both ways, right? You could have been like nervous and like, okay, well, knowing in your head, it's our kryptonite. I mean, HR people are kryptonite because you're right. There's not a vested interest, and we got to talk to a decision maker. So if anyone's watching this, that's why like HR are just employees. We want to talk to the decision maker. So Brandon, honestly, like be real with me. So in that moment, were you just like, because of your training, you're like, no problem, kind of like military, like you're used to that? Or were you kind of like nervous, or did you like say, you know what, this time I'm not ruining it. I'm going to get the, like, was it that determination? Be like, I got to do this.
Yeah, I know it's I mean a little bit of everything, but to your point, you know, conversations we've had in the past and some of the things that Sarah and I talked about today, you know, I have
Yeah.
this, I've mentioned before, you know, some people will remember, you know, my conflict that I have with, you know, the relationship that I have with my, you know, UPS clients, and then trying to talk about this.
Right.
But I you know, you mentioned one time about the you know, it's all, you know, just in my head, and do I really care what these people think about me, and you know, address the issue right up front, right? Yeah, this is not related to anything you know me for, right? It's 180 degrees. And this
Right.
was actually a follow-up that I had. I positioned this to this company, like my contact there, like she's end of March, or end of February, beginning of March.
Yeah.
And you know, I felt bad about, you know, I checked in a few times, and you know, I didn't want to seem like I was trying to hound the person, or be, you know,
Yeah.
too aggressive with it. But I just, you know, again, just going back to the calls and discussions that we've had, and I just like got myself in the right mindset and just said, hey, look, you know, tell myself, make this call. You know, you're capable. You know what you're doing. You know, you're a seasoned professional, so to speak. You
Right.
know, just
Yeah.
handle it, right?
So
And everything just flowed really well after that. So,
another kind of weird question, just because I'm interested in this, what environment were you in when you made your calls?
like, what do you mean?
Were
What
you at
environment?
your office? Was you at like your office at home? Were you on the
Yeah, I was
road?
at my home office. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And how important is that, do you think, knowing what you know now, like to really almost like a job, like you're in an office, a professional setting, you're not like making dinner, calling, you know, business owners, right? So
Right.
talk to me about that, because you're a prepper. I mean, you're always in shape. You understand discipline. Do you find that you're stronger in that setting, or sometimes, and if you are on the go, how do you get into that kind of quiet area where you're just always professional?
Well, I prefer to be in front of the person, you know,
Yeah.
having one-on-one conversations, and but you know, I'm not averse to making phone calls. I've made thousands of them, but you know, it was just you know, just dealing with the things, the conflicts that I had. You know, I had to, you know, really push that aside, and just, you know, because and remind myself, look, this opportunity is just as amazing for the company as it is for me, right?
Yeah.
So, you
Yes.
know, it's really just about, you know, trying to, you know, take the focus off of myself, what's in it for me, and you know, really let the person know that I'm talking to know that it's genuine for me, that I want to help you. I want to help you, I want to help your employees, and this is how I can do it.
Sweet, sweet. And how many employees was it?
2000.
2,000. Okay, great. You know, I'm so glad this, you're talking about this, because I was thinking about you last week, and I was sharing with a couple of clients your story. So, Brandon, could you just tell for the audience, because not everyone's in base. So let's just say it closes. So what's the typical timeline? I believe it's 6 to 8 weeks. So let's say they talk to the T group, they like it. How much money would you make in residual income in about 8 weeks after they say yes, like sign the contract?
I mean, it'd be like $10,000 a
Yeah,
month.
10,000 a
Yeah.
month. Yeah, 120,000 a year residual income off of that one call. Now, do you know anything about real estate? I mean, you may not, but
A
investing.
little bit. I mean, I'm familiar
Yeah.
with it, but yeah.
Okay. So like Airbnb. So if you bought like 10 homes, you would have to pay all of your expenses. Then your cash flow would have to be 1,000 a month to make what Brandon would make off one phone call. Think about that.
Yeah.
10 homes you would have to own in California, which is impossible, by the way, unless you're a gazillionaire. Then you would have to pay all of the fees of the Airbnb management or whatever you're renting. Then you got to overcharge, and you make about 1,000 a month times 10. That's 10,000 a month. So path of least resistance. have some balls for 5 minutes, or go work for 5 years and maybe do it in real estate.
Yeah, and and to that point, I heard Brad Lee one time mention that something about making cold calls or and sales calls, and he mentioned that if I made 10 calls and the final I got all these no's, but on the last one I got the
Yes.
sale, right, and it was $500, basically let's say it was $5,000, right, then every single no was worth $500 to him.
I saw
Right?
that.
So just
Yep.
yeah, so it was like, man, that totally a different mind shift.
Yeah,
Just
because he's talking about the hours. So like if you like investing all these hours, you get no, and then like you get a sale that is like 5,000, then you divide it by like 40 hours, you made that much an hour.
Yeah.
He's gangster. He's in Vegas. Yeah, he's a good guy. Yep. Well, cool, man. Well, thanks so much for being on the hot seat for a second, but I appreciate you sharing all that.
No problem.
Cool stuff, guys. Well, let's take one more question because I know it's a top of the hour almost. And I just wanted to thanks so much, Brandon. Does anyone else want to share or have a question for me, or just want to share experience, anything positive? And again, don't be shy. Anyone else? I'll end 10 minutes early. That's fine. I'm good.
I have a question.
Yes.
It's maybe piggybacking off of what we just talked about with Brandon, but like, how does a person like something, maybe just like a thought or something positive to when we're talking when we feel a little bit intimidated that we're talking to someone like on a higher echelon than us?
What was your question? I'm not sure. Like, how do you feel?
Oh, like, no, maybe just like a suggestion of how to work through that when we're talking to like someone that's in a higher echelon than us per se, that we want to be in that echelon, because I know you talk about hanging out with people in that realm and being in that scope with them, but maybe what's just like a thought to like get us comfortable being there, maybe, or talking to someone of a higher echelon like that.
Sure. So do you want my real answer or the elementary answer?
I want like the real.
I know you do. Well, it's a great question. And again, I'm going to answer it, it's nothing to do with you. So don't take anything of this personally. I'm going to answer it in general for everybody because it's a general answer. So the biggest thing is, the biggest thing is how you look at yourself, because if you're on the phone, just think about this. Like, I could be on the verge of homelessness. As long as I have a phone, I can act whoever I want to act. Like I could be the CEO of Cahill, Cahill Inc. Right? So when I'm calling someone, I'm like, excuse me, I need to talk to the person involved. Who's the decision maker of your business, sir? I really would appreciate it. As opposed to like, oh my God, I'm so broke. I don't feel worthy. Oh, if they only knew my situation. Oh my God. Because one call could totally change my situation if I'm that. I'm not saying you're like that, but I'm just saying, like, I used to make calls when I was homeless at a payphone at Target when I started network marketing, and I still crushed it. So I got on a payphone at Target in 2004, and I invited people, and I just got 5 people at an event that launched my business as an entrepreneur. Now, I didn't tell everyone I'm homeless, I'm a loser, I'm on call, and I don't think you even want this. So it really starts with your attitude and just exactly what I was talking about. So just making that choice to, like, again, I don't care about rejection. Like, I need to get to the decision maker. Like, this is not about me. This is what Brandon said. It's about how I can help them. Like, you've got this message. I mean, think about this. This is kind of a weird, let's say there's an asteroid coming and we can actually prevent it, but we've got to get to the highest level of NASA. And we have some intel that we can save the world, but we only have 72 hours. And we don't know anyone in Nassau. We are going to find somebody in Nassau. We are going to be loud. We're going to be posting all over Facebook. We're going to be like, I need someone. We're all going to die, right? So that all of us would do that, right? I'm not saying be crazy and yeah, it's urgency. It's crazy urgency, but it's also, I always like to say James Bond. How many of you ever watched Casino Royale or any Daniel Craig? I love those Bond. I'm starting to watch them again for like the 12th time. you know, the scenes where like Bond, he's like middle of chaos, and then he just like kills someone and then like fixes his suit and just walks. Like it's like, I can't believe he just did that for 20 minutes and that craziness, and he just fixed the suit and goes on with his day. It's like that James Bond on the outside, but the Terminator on the inside. You have to feel calm, cool, collected, but very, very like direct and confident. And it's not going to work 100% of the time, of course, but it's going to work more than not. But the moment you're like, excuse me, ma'am, so just watch your ums, just like actors, you know, you just have to watch how you say come off, especially if it's over the phone, because you can be anyone you want over the phone. But in person, it's the same thing, and you might be better in person. Some of you are better in person than over the phone. So just consider that, you know, always work with your strength, not your weakness. I'm good on the phone. I enjoy it. But I'm also good. You know, I got good in person. I was an introvert, but I learned to be an extrovert because of everything I'm telling you. So reading the books and listening to the audio books, going on YouTube, how to be a better salesperson, listening to Brad Lee, you know, people like that, and then doing it. And then you just get better and better. But I think, okay, for all of you out there that haven't booked an appointment yet, let me tell you something. You have something, you have a thing hanging over your head right now, and you're about to be hung. And I mean that, I know it's a vulgar kind of thing to think about, but you're about to die. So what I mean by that in sales, you're about to die in sales. The longer you don't have a win, the more statistically that you're going to fail, because you're eventually going to be like, I just can't do it. Now that's not true. You can do it, but you've got to get the win. So why are some of you not getting the win? I just think it comes down to three things. That's it. And I'll kind of end with this. You're either, number one, not doing it right. And I can take golf as an example. Like I can go for the first time playing golf. Some of you play golf. It's a great sport. I can go to a driving range. I can get a set of clubs. I can get some balls, and I can just like Happy Gilmore all day. I like run up to it and do it all wrong. It doesn't matter if I do 1,000 balls a day and I'm bleeding and everything. I still suck as a golfer. But if I get help, if I get a golf pro, I'm working on my form, I'm working on my shoulder, my alignment with my knees, my shoulder, my stance, how I address the golf ball, I'm going to get better and better, right? Does that make sense? So some of you are not addressing the skill set of just simple, you know, calling people and talking, you know, because you're not doing enough, or you're doing it wrong. I'm sorry. Second thing is you're just not doing it enough. So like you could do it right. You got the skill set, but man, you're just doing one here, one there. And like I said, I used to call 50 people a day, 20 spoke was a day. Like, are you really, do a self-audit? Are you really doing a lot? Are you really doing the contacts? You can go on Google. You can go on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is so underused. It's insane. Sales Navigator for $99 a month. You can literally have access to every CEO in America, whether it's 10 employees, 20 employees, 100 employees to 10,000 or more. Like you pay $99 a month. You can go on YouTube. How to use Sales Navigator. Every single CEO, you'll get their email, and you'll get the industry. You can actually study certain industries. I believe, and I'm going to give you guys a huge nugget, the automotive industry is massive. We just signed up Mercedes of Alabama, the distribution center in Alabama. They are signed, they're clients with the T Group. And then Rivian car, the electric car, just signed last week. We got the NYPD, okay? So amongst 10,000 other clients. So, you know, anyway, making those contacts in the automotive industry, they love it. Also in the medical industry, we have hospitals that are signing up in the thousands. Medical industry likes this. I mean, I've had terrific calls with some hospitals, whether it's a small hospital or a large hospital. Schools, you know, that's good. I mean, that's a little harder because of the red tape in the government. But yeah, hospitals are great, and so is automotives. The third thing and the last thing is kind of funny. It's like kind of a shot at all of us, but you just need more personal development. So again, 3 reasons why you're not seeing results. You might need more personal development. You know, you might need to be reading more, you know, John C. Maxwell books, as opposed to, you know, sometimes just the Bible. I mean, the Bible's great and all, but you also want to read some John Maxwell books too. You know, how to be a leader, and how to, or maybe some Dale Carnegie books, How to Win Friends and Influence. How many of you ever been around someone that they have no social cues? Like they are, oh my gosh, you're just like, what did you just say to me? You know, like they're so awkward. So you have to just kind of look at yourself as, am I awkward? You know, and am I winning friends and influence people? Am I an influential person? If not, well, get the book. I have a couple copies right here, up here. Like, just read even the back of them. Like, because at the end of each chapter, it talks about like, you know, and it kind of compiles throughout the whole book is like the tip of the chapter. And if you just take those tips, or you can Google those tips at the end of each chapter of how to win friends and influence people and study those, you're going to be even better tomorrow than you are today. So I just think those are the three things that are holding people back. And I think if we all address it, we take an audit of, hey, if I'm not getting results that I want, is it just because I'm lazy, or is it because I'm not making enough calls, or I'm doing it wrong? That's when you can ask for coaching. I think the greatest, when the student is ready, the coach appears. So once the student is ready for like, oh my God, I do need to improve on this. And then you start actually obsessing over how to improve in that, you're golden. You're golden, because we all need to improve. Okay. So I believe that's the key in all of this. So with that said, guys, thank you, Rachel, for that question. It was very enlightening and opened up a lot of things for me. So I appreciate it. Thanks to Brandon. Thanks for your question, man. And of course, Liz. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for being on tonight. Hopefully you got a lot out of it. And we record it. We'll put this on YouTube. If you have any potential affiliates, definitely share the replay. We definitely want to attract the right affiliates that are sharp, that know business owners, and that really understand how valuable this opportunity is. So thank you so much, everybody. See you next time.